You showed up completely. Every time. You were consistent when he was confusing, present when he was distant, patient when he gave you every reason not to be. You gave him the kind of love people write about, the kind that costs something, and he treated it like it was optional. You loved him completely, and you've been blaming yourself for it ever since. Like something was wrong with you for loving that hard. Like you should have known better, left sooner, needed less. Like the fact that it didn't work means you did something wrong. You didn't. Here's what nobody sits with you long enough to say. His actions were never about you. Not really. The way he showed up, or didn't, the way he gave just enough to keep you there, but never enough to make you feel safe, that had nothing to do with your worth. That was him, his capacity, his wounds, his choices. You cannot control what another person is capable of giving. You never could. No amount of loving harder, being better, shrinking smaller, or showing up more consistently was ever going to change what he was able to offer. That ceiling was his, not yours. And you spent so long standing underneath it, wondering why you couldn't reach higher. You're not broken for loving that hard. That capacity, the one that made you stay, that made you try, that made you believe in him even when the evidence said otherwise, that's not your flaw. That's your depth. The problem was never that you loved too much. The problem was that you poured it into someone who didn't have the container for it. That's not your fault. That's just a mismatch. And mismatches are not verdicts on your worth. But here's where it gets real. Because this isn't about him anymore. You can spend the rest of your life analyzing his behavior, why he did what he did, what he meant by this, whether he ever really loved you. You can replay every conversation, reread every message, try to find the moment where it all went wrong. And you will find nothing. Because the answers to those questions live inside him, and you don't live there anymore. What you can do, the only thing that has ever actually been in your hands, is decide what you do with your own energy now. Every time you replay a memory of him, you're giving him your present moment. Every time you wonder what you could have done differently, you're handing him your peace. Every time you measure your worth against his behavior, you're letting someone who couldn't even show up for you decide how you feel about yourself. That's the part you can change. Not him. Never him. But the place you've been sending your energy, the mental real estate you've given over to someone who left, that's yours to reclaim. Calling your energy back from him doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean what you had wasn't real, or that the love wasn't genuine. It means you finally accept that his chapter in your story is over. And you've been standing in the doorway of the next one, looking back. You're allowed to close that door. Gently, without anger, without needing him to understand, or apologize, or finally give you the closure he was never going to give. You close it because you deserve to walk into what's next with your whole self, not the version of you that's still waiting for him to change his mind. You loved him with everything you had. And that says everything about who you are and nothing about your worth. Now it's time to love yourself with even a fraction of that same energy. And watch what happens. Welcome home.